In a world of forgotten corners, where dreams are buried under dust and survival is the only prayer whispered on the wind, a boy was born. His name was Aiden Cross, and he came into a silent village, a place where questions died before they could be asked. But Aiden's heart was different. It burned with inquiries too loud for his small world to hold. He'd look at the fading tombstones and wonder, why do we live only to be forgotten? What is our purpose if our memory fades like mist at dawn? He craved a legacy, not for glory, but for meaning. One night, the sky cracked open. A furious storm tore through the valley, turning the quiet river into a raging beast. A child, no older than 5, was swept away by the current. While others stood paralyzed by fear, Aiden, just a boy himself, leaped into the torrent. He fought the water, his small body a testament to pure will, and pulled the drowning child back to the shore. That night, something shifted. The silence of the village was broken by whispers of his courage, whispers that began to travel, carried on the wind, beyond the suffocating mountains that had always been their world. As Aiden grew, so did his voice. He was no longer just the boy who saved a child. He was the voice of the voiceless. He saw the corrupt rulers who feasted while his people starved. He saw the fear that kept good men silent, and he refused to bow. He stood in the dusty squares, his words like sparks in the dry tinder of his people's hearts. He spoke of justice when others mumbled in submission. He reminded the broken, the weary, and the afraid that even a single voice, clear and true, could shake an empire to its very foundations. He wasn't just speaking. He was igniting hope. His defiance did not go unnoticed. The powerful, who built their thrones on the silence of the oppressed, saw him as a threat. They couldn't understand a man who wanted nothing for himself. Not gold, not land, not power. All he wanted was for his people to stand up. So they did what the powerful always do to voices they cannot control. They tried to silence him. He was captured, dragged through the streets in chains, a spectacle meant to instill fear. They beat him, hoping to break his spirit. They threw him into a lightless prison, hoping to bury his voice in stone and darkness. But they misunderstood the nature of a true legacy. They could chain his body, but they could not chain his words. In the grim darkness of the prison, his spirit remained untamed. He spoke to the other prisoners, not of escape, but of freedom within the soul. His stories, his convictions, his unwavering belief in the power of the human spirit became the currency of the incarcerated. His words were smuggled out on scraps of cloth, carried by guards who were moved by his integrity, and whispered from one person to another until they became a river of their own. The whispers became a roar. The sparks he had lit burst into a wildfire of rebellion. Villages rose one by one. People who had lived their entire lives in fear found the courage to stand. They painted his symbol, a burning sun rising over the mountains, on their banners. It wasn't a war for a new king, but a revolution for a new dawn. It was the physical manifestation of Aiden's belief that a legacy isn't about one person, but about the idea they inspire in many. Aiden Cross never saw the world he helped create. His body perished in that prison, his grave unmarked, his name erased from the official records of the crumbling empire. The rulers believed they had won. They had extinguished the man, so they thought they had extinguished the fire. But they were wrong. His name, Aiden, became more than a name. It became a symbol. It was the whispered password among rebels, the lullaby sung to children about courage, the prayer of those seeking justice. His voice became the heartbeat of a generation, and then the next, and the next. Centuries rolled by. Kingdoms rose and fell like tides. Great stone monuments to forgotten kings crumbled into dust. The world changed. Maps were redrawn, and languages evolved. But the echo of Aiden Cross remained. It wasn't found in history books or carved on statues. It lived in the quiet, resolute moments of defiance. It was there when a farmer refused to give up his land to a greedy lord. It was there when a scholar published a truth that threatened the powerful. It was there in every whisper of justice, in every song of freedom, in every act of courage performed by ordinary people. The world still heard him, because legacy, as he once said, isn't something carved in stone. It's not about the name you leave behind, but the fire you kindle in others. It lives in the hearts that refuse to stay silent, in the voices that carry the song forward long after the original singer is gone. Aiden's story reminds us that our true purpose isn't just to live, but to inspire. To leave behind not an echo of our name, but the resonance of our courage. And that is a legacy that can never ever die. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content that explores the power of the human spirit. Until next time, stay curious and stay courageous.